And we're live.
Welcome back, everyone. Episode 93 of Kids Deserve It. We hope you've been enjoying our weekly chats with educators and game changers from around the country. Also, don't forget, you can check us out on iTunes.
And while you're over on iTunes, leave us a review for one of the episodes as we select a winner each week to win an autographed book set.
Also, don't forget to join our Kids Deserve It chat on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. This week, we got another great guest, but first, we want to introduce ourselves. I am Adam Welcome, Director of Innovation in the Bay Area of California.
I'm Todd Neslony, Elementary School Principal in Navasota, Texas, and I am so thrilled to have with us my friend Nika Mayers. Nika, thanks for being here.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Well, we want to also remind our viewers that you can participate in social media using the hashtag KidsDeserveIt, as we love seeing what sticks out to you, whether you're watching live or the recording later.
So, Nika, we got a few questions for you. So there are a few people out there that don't know who you are. Can you tell us about yourself?
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. I am Nika Mayers. I am the lead learner, aka principal of a pre-K through 5 campus in Houston, Texas, Cy-Fair ISD. I am the mom to 3 amazing boys, Hunter, Parker, and Sawyer, and I'm gonna give them a shout out because I think they're watching. So I am just a committed lifelong learner. That's just who I am.
So, when did you decide that you wanted to kind of step into that role of administration and out of what you were doing before?
You know, that was something that was kind of just like thrust upon me a little bit. So I started my career back in New York, in Brooklyn. I was a substitute teacher at first because I thought I was going to go to law school. And then I became a classroom teacher and then an instructional coach. And then I had a principal who kind of said, hey, I kind of want other people to see what you're doing. And how about, first you pushed me into being an instructional coach and then into being an AP. And so it was something where I was just kind of like, someone saw in me what I didn't see myself. And then the passion just grew from there.
Nice. So there is a lot going on in education right now, Nika. What do you feel is the most important and urgent issue right now that we're dealing with?
I really think that right now, our primary responsibility as educators is to provide students with an opportunity where they can be problem solvers. I think for so long, we've just kind of taught kids how to do school, and we really haven't taught them how to think. And now we have to shift that mindset. It's like a paradigm shift in teachers thinking and students thinking, because we really want kids to be truly prepared for what we don't even know is coming next. So for me, it's really about getting kids to have choice and voice in their learning, so that they are really taking ownership of what they're learning every day.
I love that. So, being a principal is a whole nother world. And even there's so many differences even between an elementary and a secondary principal. Mm-hmm. What do you enjoy most about what you do on a daily basis?
So I will tell you that the fuel for my fire is seeing kids every day. We have an amazing staff, and they're all in for kids. And for me, it's all about, do kids want to run back in the door every day? Or they're like, oh, do I have to be here again? Seeing their excitement, seeing them light up, seeing the light bulb go off for them, just seeing them engage and wanting to be at school. And kids who don't want to even go out to recess because they're loving what they're doing in class. That's what fuels the fire for me, and that's what keeps me going.
So tell us, what was school like growing up for you?
Totally the opposite of the experience I'm creating for kids
right
today. I grew up in the Caribbean, actually. I grew up in Trinidad.
Right.
And so I moved to New York when I was 12. And of course, my mom moved me there for me to have a better opportunity. And in school in Trinidad, it was kind of just rote. We sat in desks, in rows. I went to Catholic school, and you literally just complied. You just did what you were asked to do. And there was no out of the box. There was a box. You fit in the box. And that was it. And now, because I have 3 boys and I know how boys think, it's so important for me. I say if we reach our boys, we inherently reach our girls. So it's so important for me to make sure that kids are getting really great learning experiences. I didn't have that growing up. So I want to make sure all kids get the opportunity.
Nice.
Well, you know, something that we talk about a lot, and it was even mentioned in the chat tonight. I saw one of my friends, Stephen Lamkin, mentioned it too, and that's just about the importance of reading and how not only what we're reading matters, but also what we're reading with our kids and to our kids about building all these skills that can come through books. Is there something that you're reading right now that you would either recommend professionally, personally, in the classroom, anything like that?
So my staff members will tell you, oh goodness, you asked her that question? We have so many different book studies going on right now. So one of the books, besides Kids Deserve It, of course, we did that as a summer book study, and that we're continuing throughout the course of the year. But our leadership team is reading Lead Like a Pirate. Our instructional council is reading Innovator's Mindset. This summer, personally, I read Option B, and that book was just a game changer, because when Option A doesn't work, you kick the heck out of Option B and you just make it happen. So I would say, you know, books are, you take a little bit of what the research says and you marry it with theory and practice, but you've got to be committed as a lifelong learner to digging into books and really staying current and keeping up with what's happening.
So, Nika, who is someone that inspires or challenges you to be better?
Wow. Personally, my 3 boys are my inspiration because I know what I want for them and for their future. So they fuel my fire for education and for really committing to kids. So they inspire me. My grandmother and my mother, they didn't have the opportunities that I had. And so doing what I know they would want me to do and making them proud. And professionally, man, I've got these Voxer groups, Moms as Principals, Principals in Action, and we just push each other to get better. And when you think you're doing one thing great, somebody else shares something else, and you just say, oh man, I could do this better. And it's just surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are just gonna keep pushing you to do better, because ultimately, when we get better as leaders, our staff gets better, our students get better, our parents get better, everyone, all of the stakeholders get better in terms of what we need to do to make sure that our kids are really prepared.
It's so true. So, you know, we all have those days, though, where we don't want to go into work sometimes, or we're totally not feeling that lesson for that day, or whatever's happening. And so when you're having one of those rough moments, what do you kind of do to continue to kick your butt into gear regardless?
We never have those moments. I don't know what you're talking about. What keeps me going is knowing that this year, especially, my hashtag is Be the Model. So as a staff, we all committed to one hashtag this year. And for me, if I want staff to be here and to show up and commit every day, then I have to be the model. So no matter what's happening, I leave it in the car. And once I step onto campus, I know that I have to be the model. I have to be the model for my family. I have to be the model for my staff. I have to be the model for students. So just keeping that hashtag in my head keeps me going, because I know that there's so many different people that are looking at me to set that example. And so I just have to be the model for everyone.
Nice. All right, Nika, every week we like our guests to leave a challenge for our viewers. What is your challenge for the week?
So I thought about this, and I actually, because I know you have diverse audience members, I actually have 2 quick challenges. So one I have for teachers. You know, as a mom, I wear 2 hats all the time. It's great when you have a teacher who makes that positive phone call and brags on your child. You know, like, I know my kids are doing well, but it'd be just great to hear from a teacher, hey, so-and-so did this today, and that was just awesome, or he's been really trying at this, and that was great. So I want to challenge teachers to make that positive phone call home, because parents are sending us their best every single day, and parents deserve it too. So I would want to challenge teachers to make that one positive phone call home and make the difference for a parent. And for administrators or campus leaders, this is something that's one of my personal professional goals this year. I just had my goal setting conference yesterday with my superintendent. I told her this was one of my goals, to really challenge yourself, change professional development. So change it from sit and get for your staff to engagement. So the same choice and voice that we want teachers for students in classrooms is the same thing that we need to provide teachers the opportunity for choice and voice for professional development. So our staff has a little twist coming their way next week for professional development. They don't know it yet, but I want to challenge campus leaders to really engage your staff with professional development. So try something new for PD.
Love that.
I think those are just perfect challenges. So thank you, Nika. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad we got
you're
to
welcome.
chat with you. I love anytime we get to spend together. You were always such a bright light and always sharing such brilliant things. So thank you so much for giving us some of your time on the show today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yep. And we want to thank all of our viewers for joining as well, our listeners. Make sure that you continue to tweet us using the hashtag #KidsDeserveIt throughout the week of the great things you're doing for kids. We also encourage you to leave our review on iTunes for any of the episodes as we select a winner each week. Make sure you include your Twitter handle so we can contact you. And join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific for our Kids Deserve It Twitter chat. Have a great week, everybody.